Hello and welcome to Sports Intellect Podcast. And today we'll be talking about yesterday's match, where a lot of heartbreak for Mumbai Indians fans and 5-0. That is the table what is showing right now. And then we'll continue today as the bandwagon of IPL goes today to the match between Rajasthan and Gujarat. So I have with me the same panelists as yesterday, Abel, Sandipani, and Sanjeet. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? Hope you all well.
Yeah. Hello.
Well, I'll start with you, Sanjeet. Heartbreak definitely for Mumbai. Though they showed fight yesterday, but they could not make it to the 2 points that they are craving so much.
Yeah, it's like that Salman Khan dialogue I remember from the memes, or I'm not sure who it was. It's like "Marunga bhi main hi, bachaunga bhi main hi," like that sort of thing. Okay, but before that, I would like to start by criticizing Sandipani's view of Deval Brevis from yesterday because I'm an Indians fan. I will take every chance I have to take a dig. That's all that's left for us now, to be honest. Yesterday's game, I feel until the 15th or 16th over, it looked like it was very possible for Mumbai to take it home. I thought they'll do it with a couple of balls and about an over to spare. All right. Very irresponsible runouts. Many people had to say that it was Suryakumar Yadav's mistake in both the runouts. If you, I don't know, runouts aren't. That's not how you're supposed to play. All right. At that stage of the game, I felt if you had in a mind to run for two or take those hard singles, you should have run fast. Like the Pollard run out, Pollard did not run fast. All right. If anybody was to him, it was him. Okay. In the Tilak Verma run out, Suryakumar just hit the ball. He was looking at the ball. He didn't even like walk down the crease. Tilak Verma ran on his own. So, I mean, either way, of course, maybe Surya could have stopped the massacre or something of that sort could have happened. It didn't. It was what it was. And I actually felt Rahul Sher was going to bowl brilliantly yesterday, which he did. His next three overs were pretty spot on. And I mean, those three overs was something that as a cricket fan, you would enjoy watching. Come right spot on. It was good amount of spin, nice pace, finding it tough to get it away. But that Deval Brevis over in the 29 run over did a lot of damage. And maybe from there we had a chance to get back up. But then again, I mean, we spoiled it for ourselves. And yeah, it is a heartbreak, but I don't know. Maybe I think all the Mumbai Indians fans look at themselves as stepping into maybe Jayavardhan's shoes and thinking, okay, we're just gonna let this year go now. Probably, maybe our focus is from next year, and I really don't know because the way Pollard was playing yesterday, I mean, he was trying to just smack every ball out, and that's he was trying to slog it. That's not what Pollard does. He just stands and hikes the ball into the stands. Yesterday was something different. I really don't know what the mindset was. Suryakumar again coming to the party, and but like I said before, that position for him is a little low, all right, because he only has an out of form Karan Pollard coming in after him. And like the previous two matches, everything was left to the likes of Suryakumar Yadav to finish the game. And it was on the bowling. Arshdeep, as much as I hated yesterday's match and I left it in the 19th over, I would like to say I really, really appreciate the way Arshdeep has been bowling. All right, for the kind of pace and the kind of wicket that it was, he was troubling every batsman. Like they weren't able to get bat on ball, even in the death, even in the beginning. It was very interesting to see him bowl. And I think we're I was telling Abel today or telling Sankey or someone that, that Arshdeep looks like a really strong contender to even get into the Indian team. He's been bowling very tight lengths. So
True.
as far as the Punjab team is concerned, Arshdeep has been someone that I've been looking. He even bowled brilliantly to Hardik Pandya in the previous game. So Arshdeep's bowling really excited me yesterday. Apart from that, Deval Davis looks promising. Tilak Verma has been middling the ball more often than not. I desperately have to have Ishan Kishan come to the party. This is not what 15 crore worth batting looks like. That is impossible. This cannot happen. Right? He's taking too many balls. He's making Rohit Sharma play some rash shots or take the attack to the bowler, and I don't know, the first 10, 15 balls he plays, it looks like he's only trying to guide the ball behind square or just use the pace, take a single off, and it's not working. It's not working for Ishan Kishan. So yeah, heartbreak, yes, but we're used to it. So I don't know what else to say.
I mean, over to you, Sandipani. Yesterday, in the 19th over, before Suryakumar before Suryakumar left the field, there was an incident, where he wanted a single and Unatkar denied him that. And there was a lot of relation or correlation to that being a reason why Suryakumar left. Do you think that criticism of Jai Unatkar was fair?
Jerin and always faces criticism no matter what he does. I think in the first 3 overs he bowled beautifully yesterday. He was taken to the cleaners in the last over. Yesterday, Punjab Kings showed match awareness. That was the first time I saw them show some game awareness in this tournament, at least, because Jitesh Patel and Shah Rukh Khan, they actually played out Bumrah because Bumrah was bowling beautifully. So they decided to play him out and then take on the rest of the bowlers, which was the right ploy according to me. And that explosiveness from Jitesh right at the end allowed Punjab Kings to get to 198, which was a competitive total to say the least. Because as I told you yesterday in the preview as well, that Mumbai Indians are going to target Vaibhav Arora, Odin Smith, and Liam Livingstone, those 8 overs. And they actually managed to score at around 11 runs per over in those 8 overs. But still, Arshdeep Singh and Rabada proved to be the main difference between the two. Also, speaking about Devil Brevis, I will still say that they need a Team David. Why? Because Surya Kumar Yadav, Tilak Verma is in outstanding form. Getting them to bat at number 4 and number 5 is not utilizing their potential to the fullest. Tilak Verma can anchor the innings. Surya Kumar can play all roles. And we have also seen that Tilak Verma can also provide that explosiveness at the end if you need it. So I think they need a Team David. Like Sanjeet mentioned that Surya Kumar couldn't play his shots freely because he knew that only Pollard was there after him, and then the tailenders follow. So if they have that assurance that there is a Tim David and Pollard, like two explosive batsmen to follow, they can play a lot more freely. Otherwise, if you want to build Brevis, like if you want to build Brevis's career, which is like Brevis has been really promising. Yesterday he just took Rahul Chahar off guard. I think he scored 27 of 49, and he just scored 28 of that Rahul Chahar over. So basically, if you take that out, scored 21 of 22. Like and I think his innings could have gone completely, like it could have been the other side of the spectrum, because at one point he was 0 of 8. If like yesterday was his day, so it came off. I don't know how many days it is going to come off. And also, if you want to build him as a player, I think you can also try him at number 6. If you want to play him, just push him down the order. I think Tilak Verma and Surya Kumar deserve the number 3 and number 4 slot according to whichever like they want. Like if Rohit Sharma gets dismissed, bring in Surya Kumar Yadav. Ishan Kishan gets dismissed, bring in Tilak Verma. But Surya Kumar, with the current form that he is in, number 5 is not the place for him. So I think Mumbai just went a bit tactically. I don't know now. Everything, when you're losing, everything looks like a miss. But yesterday, I think Mumbai ticked most of the boxes right. Their death over bowling, like Punjab showed match awareness. They just played out. Also, yesterday, I like Mumbai's bowling did not look competitive enough because Shikhar Dhawan and Mayank Agarwal, they were scoring 10-12 runs in every over so like effortlessly. It seemed that they did not take any risk in the first 10 overs, and yet the score was 98-99. Yeah. So the bowling, I think, was not up to the mark. Also, Rohit Sharma using Bumrah, like we can't really criticize him as well, because if you have just 4 overs of premium bowling in 20 overs, you are going to hold him back for the death overs. But yeah, I think all in all, it does not look good for Mumbai. Punjab Kings played a good game. They won.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think one of the issues with Devil Brewers has been the fact that he's not been very active in rotating the strike. And I think that kind of puts him in one place. It kind of makes the inning stagnant. And we all know how important dot balls can be when it comes to T20 cricket. And avoiding as less of that is probably what increases the scoring. And yesterday's game, when they're chasing 198, the scoreboard needs to be ticking. It doesn't matter if you cover up for it later on. But then he's still a growing lad. He's doing what he can best. At the age of 19, is definitely changing games, and that's something that Mumbai requires. But I think I'll ask you, Abel. We had a lot of criticism of Odin Smith yesterday, but again he came at the death over. He again balled an over, which probably started off really bad. You can say he did not ball to the class of Tewati and Miller this time around, but he did a good job keeping a good head on his shoulders.
You cannot judge Oden Smith by yesterday's game because he was born to just tail enders. That's why I still criticize Mitchell Stark for the same reason. Mitchell Stark is not one of the greatest bowlers as people portray him to be because he cleans up tail enders more often than not than top order batsmen. On a good day he might, but I'm just that's a different comparison altogether. But talking about Oden Smith, if you had him in your fantasy team, you probably had a good day. But or else there was no point of talking about those 3 wickets. The Mumbai's game was almost done and dusted. It was, you can say, yeah, it was more like a redemption for him to get, entrust him with the 20th over yet again because he had a couple of really bad failures in the last couple of matches as well. So Mayank Agarwal showed the trust in him, he repaid it, and that's what you want from your captain as well, isn't it? Because Mayank Agarwal is someone who was big on backing him after the last game against Gujarat Titans, where he came out saying that we will continue to back Odean Smith because he's got that potential to change matches both with the bat and the ball. And yesterday's match, you could constantly say so that picking up the wicket of Devol Brooks was very crucial there. That would be the most important wicket rather than the last 3 wickets. Because if you wouldn't have picked that wicket up, the match would have gone anywhere, and Mumbai could have possibly got over the line yesterday. That's why I felt, I thought Morgan Smith was much more effective there. Still, he went for 13 3 overs. That's 10 runs per over, but 4 wickets, you will take it any day, right? So that's what I would talk about Morgan Smith.
All right, let's move on to the next match that we have today, starting in half an hour. Rajasthan versus Gujarat. The neighbors are gonna, come out and play against each other. It's gonna be a very interesting match. This is also a match which has the potential to decide the table toppers of this time around because there are both the teams tied at 6 points each. So how do we go from here? I think whom do you see doing a better job or probably coming out on top? I'll start with you, Sanjeet. How do you rate these teams?
I rate on paper, I rate one team very lowly, the other one very highly. Although I believe that the team I rate low today is going to come out on top as they have. Gujarat, I feel, have the upper hand. All right, they're a team high on confidence, and at least one of the players almost always, in the batting, has turned up. Okay, has been doing well. All right, their bowling is, I mean, there is not much complaint I have against their bowling. They've been bowling well. It shows how much difference it makes when someone like a Hardik Pandya can give you a couple of overs. All right. So, and they have that luxury, and Pandit takes liberty to go on and to bowl as much as he can wherever he thinks is required. All right. As per whatever I saw in the last game, or even the one previous to that, all right, Hardik Pandya is a very aggressive captain. I did not expect him to be like that. I always expect him to be a little on the back foot. You know, I hate to say this, but somewhat like Lokesh Rahul, who feels that puts a lot of importance on his wicket and feels that he is the center of the team and plays little selfishly. I expect Hardik Pandya to do that, all right, but it is not quite it's not the case, and he's pushing everybody in that team. All right. So although I say on paper is not the strongest team, but this team has punched above their weight. So I'm hoping they can do that again. Also, Butler's been scoring well, and it's like somewhere it has to stop, right? And if anybody can stop it, it is this bowling, right? It's Rashid Khan, it is Mohammad Shami. Okay, these are the ones who can stop it. Even Devdutt Padikkal, Devdutt Padikkal also opened last time, all right? Scored a 29 in 29, very okayish. But I feel that's the position he has to bat in. Samson also, I think Ian Abel spoke, in the previous podcast about he's had his 2 good starts in the IPL, so that's probably it for the next couple of games. All right. So somewhere, yeah. So somewhere, I just feel, I don't know, Gujarat should come out on top. Okay. I don't think the previous game would have hurt their confidence way too much. I think they'll be okay. And I would expect them to look at this game as something like, I've spoken about this before. They should not win it. They could have a thumping victory, like maybe defeat us by good 40 runs, or and Bolt misses out apparently. So I mean, good news at least for Wade. Shubman Gill usually, for a left arm guy who's swinging it in, Shubman Gill kind of gets squared up every now and then. Okay, the ball goes to maybe short point, something of that sort. I was wondering maybe maybe not the best of these for Shubman Gill, but since Trent Bolt misses out, I have a few questions about that also. So I don't know. Gujarat looks like they should take it home today and like should not be, should not have to fight a lot for it. At least I hope so.
I think okay. I mean, coming to the point that Trent Bolt is missing out from what Sanjay Samson said, I think there's a slight niggle, and they don't want to exaggerate. I mean, they don't want it to exaggerate into a full fledged injury. Given the fact that the tournament's going to be a longer one, and Rajasthan is looking at a comfortable position. And I'll ask you, Abel, now, how much do you think they're going to miss him? And do you think Jimmy Neesham is a replacement for someone like Trent Bolt?
Definitely not. And I can just end my debate right there because you're comparing Trent Bolt, who has been the major match winner throughout this tournament. If you look at Rajasthan's bowling is rated so well because of Trent Bolt and Prasidh Krishna's opening burst. And especially in the last match, you saw how valuable can be that opening burst from Trent Bolt, where he came out in the first ball of the match, picked up KL Rahul, and he picked up Krishnappa Gautam, and the match was done and dusted right there. From there on, it was just a, I would say it was just an exaggeration that, Chinese could pull them through to the end, but also the match was almost done in the first 6 overs for the Lucknow Super Giants. And also Prasidh Krishna will be bowling alone now. Then, and it's on Jimmy Neesham is not a replacement for Trent Bolt for sure. He might go on to do well, but he cannot be a new ball bowler going out there and picking wickets. He's not threatening at all. And that's where I reckon they missed a trick. They should have probably gone with Obed McCoy, who's much more of a experienced campaigner bowling up front and also in the death. I don't know why they have not gone with Obed McCoy instead of Jimmy Neesham. Jimmy Neesham should have been a replacement for Riyan Parag, and Ruchi
Yeah.
Vanderson should have sat out. That should have been the way to go about it. But I reckon that this gives a massive advantage to Gujarat Titans right away. I don't know what is the reason for that. But now, just going ahead in the tournament, if you ever just talk about Gujarat Titans, they'll be gaining a lot of momentum. If they see more next 4 more games, they're probably into the playoffs as well. So this game is going to be the crucial one because they're going to be facing against the possible table toppers like Rajasthan Royals, who's been so vital. And I look at this game as Gujarat Titans as of now as well because they'll be batting first and on a fresh deck. Not having a Trent Bolt could possibly cost them quite a bit. Especially, I'm talking about Rajasthan Royals over here. But then now the owners will be on someone like a Prasidh Krishna, also Yuzuvesh and RS to step up.
Well, we have an interesting question here in our comments from Nitish Verma. Sandipani, I'll ask you to take it up. 4 teams he's mentioned: Punjab Kings, RCB, LSG, and SRH. Do you think these teams have the least flaws? I mean, especially given the fact that SRH is still sitting at the bottom. So,
Personally, if you ask me, SRH does not have a like. I will go for a banter and say does not have a squad to qualify for the playoffs. But other than that, I think Punjab Kings. I have spoken about Punjab Kings and Odin Smith. I am not quite a fan of their approach to go with Odin Smith. But yeah, he'll contribute with the bat. Yesterday, he contributed with the ball. So let's see. RCB has a pretty balanced squad. With Harshal Patel gone, their bowling looks a bit wary. But once he is back, I think they have a very stable 11. Josh Hazelwood and Harshal Patel, Hasaranga with the ball, and then Kohli, Duplessis, Maxwell, Rawat with the bat, Dinesh Karthik. Like they look very stable. And LSG too also has a very balanced squad. Uh, but preferably for me, KKR has the least. Like KKR looks like the team with the least flaws this
Yeah,
season.
I agree. As much as I hate to say it, I feel those 4 teams that he mentioned and Mumbai and Chennai, these 6 teams are the ones that won't qualify. KKR, I think, Gujarat should, Rajasthan should. I'll say this: RCB. I mean, Lucknow should be able to. I mean, that's a good team, all right.
Yeah.
But again, I find genuine captaincy flaws in them, all right. But it's okay. I mean, this is a new IPL. Everybody can have the fun they want. I mean, we know who's winning next year anyway. So I'll just
oh, big call,
I'll stick it
big
at that.
call.
But I'll say this: the way KKR have been playing, okay, with the team they have, with whatever they have been given, and the way they operate, they are doing okay, they're doing very well. And at least the last 4 5 the 4 games, the 5 games that they have played, they have done well. And I think them and Gujarat Titans are the only 2 teams that I feel at this stage deserve to be in the top 4 spot. Among the other 8, I don't really, not everyone have, like, everybody has to contribute, and these 2 teams, most people are contributing, and I'm sure that, and in a big way. And I'm hoping that more people contribute and more consistently, because these 2 teams look like they deserve to be in the top 4. But well, yeah, Vijay Shankar, the goat, is in. I'm glad.
I'm just shocked that Sai Sudarshan has been dropped.
True.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and
We
this is
all
the
wanted to see
exact reason why, like, somebody, I don't know, either Sanjeet or Abel was just saying that Gujarat Titans, like Hardik Pandya, I think it was Sanjeet, that Hardik Pandya has been promoting these youngsters because he does not have a choice. I'm not a fan of Gujarat Titans batting lineup. Like, they are youngsters because Hardik Pandya has to promote them. If Hardik Pandya is coming in at number 4 and playing the anchor's role, that means that there is something wrong with the team. I mean, nothing, not to disrespect Hardik Pandya in any way, but I feel Matthew Wade is not in the best of forms. Shubman Gill has been carrying the team with the bat. Hardik Pandya has been playing the proper anchor's knock in most of the, like, all the games. Vijay Shankar is the lord. I don't know why he's playing. Uh, Other than that, I think even David Miller is not in the best of forms. Rahul Tewatia, you can't bank on for all the games. Avinav Manohar is a new guy. Last time he scored 35 runs and gave 4 opportunities. So all in all, I think Rajasthan Royals will win tonight because they're bowling first. They won the toss. They're bowling first. Even though they will miss Trent Bolt, if Bolt would have been there, I would have gone with like Rajasthan 100%. But right now, Jimmy Nisham is not the bowler. Like, you don't consider Jimmy Nisham as the bowler who will bowl 4 overs. So they have to get 1 or 2 overs out of Rian Parag. Uh, but Gujarat Titans are mainly on the top because of their bowling unit. Mohammad Shami, Loki Ferguson, Rashid Khan are doing their job in all the games, and they have a Narkande and Pandya has been contributing.
Dalton is
Like,
dropped, if I'm not wrong. I think Yash Dayal is playing instead of him today.
who.
again, I don't understand that decision. Like, the
Yeah,
two
there
players
was
whom you are
there was
supposed to back, you are dropping.
yeah.
So coming back to captaincy and team management, I think that's poor from them.
No, I think if IPL is CSK and MI, I think Sport Intellect is starting to have Sandipani and Sanjeet. Uh, these people just can't seem to agree on something. It's going to be interesting to see how this rivalry progresses. But I think I'll just ask the next question. I mean, I'll go to you straight away, Sandipani, once again. Josh Butler has been probably the enforcer for Rajasthan. I think, and no one, I mean, no cricket knowing fan will discredit his role for this team. We have someone like Rashid Khan who has a great matchup against him. And do you think now, given how good that matchup is, you might see Hardik Pandya give the ball to Rashid Khan in the power play itself, probably in the
If
first or
I'm
second
not wrong, even Mohammad Shami has a good matchup against Butler. He has
Okay.
dismissed him a couple of times. I was seeing it yesterday
Fine.
that Butler averages something around 19 or 20 against Shami
11,
in
11.
the 11. No, no, I'm
11.
talking about the entire white ball format, including the ODIs.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
11.
11 including everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
so then he actually struggles against Shami. Also, he struggles against Rashid Khan terribly. He averages around 13 with in the T20s, I guess. So yes, I don't think the Gujarat need to change anything. Hardik Pandya has been bowling well for them in the power plays. He has been getting those 2 overs out early. So
Yeah.
that makes it another 6 overs that the players can target, because as I say that uh, opponent teams should always consider like what do they have that like they can go for. Today, I think the 4 overs from Yash will be the like uh, they will target those 4 overs, and to the Hardik Pandya's 4 overs will be their target, because otherwise Gujarat Titans bowling is top notch, and I think they have to play well in the power play. The power play will decide whether Rajasthan can actually win or not. That will be the critical phase. Also, Shubman Gill's form, because Gujarat Titans heavily depend on Shubman Gill's form and their bowling lineup. Because Tewatia has won them that one game, but I don't think that like Tewatia has been around for quite some time right now, and he hasn't been a match winner in, like, he performs once in say 8-9 games. So yeah, but he has been in good form this season. So let's see.
Sanjay, I think, I mean, probably I think now I should go to Abel, I think. So yeah, I mean,
He's been quiet for too long.
he's, yeah. So I mean, Abel, if talking about the flip side of things, I mean, just not Josh Butler. Interestingly enough, Rajasthan has had issues with leg spinners. I think they have average of 25.2, and considering Gujarat has someone like Rashid Khan, that's gonna be a test for them. But do you think they'll be tempted to look at someone like a Rashid Khan? I mean, look at someone like a Rahul Tewatia as well. His leg spinner. Do you think that's just because they've been facing quality leg spinners and Rahul Tewatia isn't someone who could stand up to that standard?
I think many of the Rajasthan players will be used to playing Rahul Tewari so many times in the nets because he's just one of their own, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they might have faced him quite a bit of time in the nets, and also Rahul Tewari also might be knowing a thing or two about these batsmen. So it's a double-edged sword, as they always say, right? It can go either way. And I think using Rashid Khan is concerned with Sunrisers, we have seen him only ball after the power play, but now also looking at the pace attack which Gujarat Titans have, right? They're going to have Hardik Pandya and Mohammad Shami opening the bowling. Then you're going to have a Lockie Ferguson come out for another burst, and possibly I'm also looking forward to see how Yash Dayal goes about it because he's made a lot of rounds he's made a lot of noise in the domestic circuit as to how he balls. He's a good left arm pacer as well, as of what I'm hearing. So I reckon Rashid Khan will be brought on somewhere in the sixth or seventh over. If Josh Butler is removed by Mohammad Shami, Rashid Khan will be a direct matchup to Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson in the recent past has had a very bad record against leg spinners. So that's where I reckon this Gujarat Titans bowling is what is going to majorly make them win this match because I don't have a lot of hopes on Gujarat Titans batting because as even Sandipani and Sanjeet mentioned, right? This batting attack with Vijay Shankar especially back in, I don't really think this batting attack is even stronger now. This batting attack is only gonna, possibly there's gonna be a lot of ball consumption and there's gonna be a lot of dot balls. What we're gonna see, or as Vijay Shankar will have to just come out and say, I don't care about my wicket. I'm just gonna go out there and swing. But as for the lineup, what we have got, I reckon Hardik Pandya is batting at number 3 today. It's going to be very interesting to see how he's going to go at number 3. If he's going to bat at number 3, I'm personally excited for that because, you will get to see more of Hardik Pandya because Hardik Pandya is someone who's now also taking a lot of time to get settled in. I'm sure that he's still got the finishing touch in him, but just that captaincy burden has, probably, put him down a little bit when it comes to striking ability. But yeah, talking about leg spinners again, you know, the Gujarat Titans will have a huge job to do when it comes to their bowling, and Rashid Khan will have to take up a lot of burden. But the good part about Gujarat Titans also has been that he's getting the support from Mohammad Shami and also from Lockie Ferguson on two ends. It is not like a Mumbai Indians, like Rashid Khan has to do everything alone. And last year you saw that with Sunrisers as well. When he had to do all the job alone, he's not an effective bowler because teams tend to play him out. Now, what is happening
Yeah.
is that you are getting 8 good overs from Lockie Ferguson and Mohammad Shami. So the teams are in kind of a jeopardy as to whether they should attack Rashid or whether they should play him out because then you're wasting out 12 overs. Then you only have 8 overs to target. 8 overs to target, you don't reach good scores. That's where Gujarat has had most of their success throughout this tournament as well. And possibly, I say them use someone like a Devdutt Padikkal to go against Rashid Khan, but it also depends on how good he can take on someone like a Rashid Khan's caliber because Rashid Khan is effectively good against left-handers as he is against right-handers as well. He's one of those very few bowlers like Ravi Bishnoi, Rashid Khan, and possibly I can't remember a lot of leg spinners who are that good against left-handers as well. So I reckon that's where Rajasthan will face slight bit of troubles, but or else they should possibly have a good time. And I also missing out on Trent Bolt is the two reasons why I feel I'll give Gujarat a 51% chance over Rajasthan 49.
Yeah.
Sanjay, we spoke about how Hardik Pandya is one of the linchpin when it comes to Gujarat's batting, and probably you
Yes.
would expect him to do a little better as the tournament progresses. I think he's had some matches where he's played well. You would expect him to go a little longer, but today there's an interesting matchup. From what it seems, Ashwin and Chahal have a hold over Hardik Pandya. Pandya is not able to strike them for higher than 100, 100 for Ashwin and 104 for Chahal. And they're going to
Right.
obviously come into play in the middle overs, and they
Right.
have been really good for Rajasthan. So, do you think this is the day, or what could you think is the reason why Hardik struggles against them? Because he is a very good player of spin, from what we know.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we spoke about this in an earlier podcast also. It is like Hardik Pandya, earlier, I feel he's the kind of player who, if he gets the lesser amount of balls to play, he plays in one mode, he'll watch the ball, he'll hit the ball. All right. Even Mumbai Indians tried this experiment with, putting in Hardik at number 3 and number 4. All right. Did work out well because when a batsman plays a certain way and he's pushed up the order, okay, that's usually maybe, to make him increase the pace of the match a little bit, put pressure over the bowlers. And Hardik Pandya doesn't exactly do that. All right. For some reason, as far his ability, I mean, earlier, you know, teams would not get spinners in front of Hardik Pandya because it was a given 3 6s in an over, leg spin or off spin, irrespective. All right, but I don't know. It just looks like maybe he's taking much more time to get settled in, or maybe maybe he's trying to do something like get into the role of taking the game till the end, and try to be there till the end, and that takes that gives too many dot balls, and then he himself succumbs to the pressure that he himself created.
Yeah.
Right? So that I feel, as per what I assume, that is the story as far as Hardik Pandya is concerned. But may it be Chahal or may it be Ravichandran Ashwin, I think all four of us are aware that it is in terms of ability, in terms of hitting ability, Hardik Pandya can take both these guys to the cleaners day in and day out if he wishes to. Of course, form has to be in hand and a few other things also. But the batting wickets are great. All right, these aren't very big grounds. All right, Hardik Pandya, for the lanky body that he has, he generates a lot of power. All right, so this is, I mean, it should not be a problem for him to get Ashwin or Chahal out of the way. But for some reason, it's not only Ashwin or Chahal; it's a few other spinners also around the world. Many of them, in fact, that he hasn't quite been able to get away. All right, except that match in Australia where I think he scored about 40 runs or and he had two sixes in the end in the last over. Apart from that, I don't really feel that he's actually taken the liking to spin, tried to attack. And times that he has not actually, he hasn't been able to middle the ball or something of that sort. But I don't feel that today is going to be any different either. All right, the fact that now Abel mentioned that Hardik might bat in number three. All right, do not expect your number three to just go all guns blazing. But we also mentioned that maybe we'll see a couple of overs from someone like a Riyan Parag, and those 2 overs have to go for 20 and 20. And they have to come with Hardik Pandya's bat because nobody else has that
Yeah.
kind of ability to do that. All right. And those maybe
They'll have
30,
to
35
target someone like Jimmy Neesham, I feel, because Jimmy Neesham, Riyan Parag,
Divination
that
also.
the two
Absolutely.
ballers what they have to target.
So that has to happen, and it has to happen from the bat of Hardik Pandya. So I mean, let's hope it happens, but I don't see, as far as the probability is concerned, I don't think it'll be the same old story again that has been for the last couple of years.
Fair
I think the
enough.
main reason for the change in approach has been when he came in at number 3 or number 4 for Mumbai Indians. He knew there is Pollard going to come, there is Krunal Pandya, there is Surya Kumar Yadav. Like at the back end, if he fails, there is no it will not be an issue. But for Gujarat Titans, if he comes in at number 3 or number 4 and gets dismissed, there is just David Miller and then Abhinav Manohar and then Rahul Tewatia and the tailenders will follow.
Right.
So they don't have much batting. Also, Rashid Khan, for this batting to have some depth, Rashid Khan has to come good with the bat as well. Because you can't rely on Rahul Tewatia with the bat all the time. And last game, yeah, he just played one ball, but Rashid Khan was dismissed with that beautiful Yorker from who bowled that Yorker in the last game against Gujarat.
It was against who did they play last match? They played Sunrisers Hyderabad, isn't it? I think it
Yeah,
was
Natarajan
Natarajan. It was.
bowled that beautiful Yorker, which like
I mean, that was a bad shot selection.
yeah, exactly. So Rashid Khan also has to contribute with the bat, and Hardik Pandya coming in at number 3 is a good call. But I personally feel that he could have come in at number 5 or number 6, and Abhinav Manohar can be given the responsibility to come up the order because he looks a sort of a batsman who will take some time to settle in, and at the end he can even
Yeah.
go for it if you want. So I think some tactical decisions need to be made by Gujarat, and you have to post a big score if you have to threaten Rajasthan because they now have depth in their batting. My
Right.
only concern with Rajasthan's batting in the last game was that why does Ravi Ashwin has to come in at number 6?
Yeah.
Like he is
He was very
he's
aggressive
supposed to
actually.
play as a bowler, even though that was a tactic. They just had Riyan Parag and then the 5 bowlers.
Right.
So today they have Jimmy Neesham, and I think we haven't mentioned Shimran Hetmyer even once in this
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
podcast. But Shimran Hetmyer has been in the form of his life, according to me. He is averaging he has been dismissed only twice in the 4 games, and he has contributed. The interesting matchup is going to be Rashid Khan versus Shimran Hetmyer because the top order will definitely face some issues against Mohammad Shami and Rashid Khan. But it will be very interesting to see how Shimran Hetmyer goes, especially in a chase. Knowing that there is only Jimmy Neesham and the bowlers to follow.
Hmm.
I think today's Rajasthan's batting is much more deeper than. Let's not forget Rossi Vanderdusen as well. He's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
a
yeah.
great
Yeah.
player of spin. So
Correct.
I think
Fair enough.
Gujarat will have to really post a score above 195 plus to challenge this batting order today. I have a personal feeling. And talking about, he mentioned about how Rashid Khan also is going to be taking on Shimran Hetmyer because Shimran Hetman has been someone who's been enjoyed against good off spin bowling, and I also enjoys playing good pace bowling. I think
Leg spin, I think he
Gujarat has
struggled.
got someone like a Lockie Ferguson who can possibly trouble him. And I think the matchup is also going to be Rashid Khan versus Shimran Hetmyer for the very reason that I don't know if he's the best player of picking up googlies. And I'll have to also
Hmm.
go back to the Hardik Pandya point because last match I put this up, if you guys remember, I told that Hardik Pandya has been having this struggle over the last 4 years when it comes to picking up ball from the pitch. When he came into the scene, he used to actually pick the ball and he used to actually slog it over the deep mid wicket or square leg. I
Yeah.
don't know what has happened to him in the recent past. He's been able to find that he's been having the trouble, for example, to pick that googly of a leg spinner. He's been having the trouble to actually also judge the length at many a times. He's playing a back foot for a ball which is way too full. I don't know what
Hmm.
it is with him. I don't know if it's because of his back issue that he's not able to get that stretch in forward and possibly dismiss the ballers out of the park, or it's because he's getting more stuck in the crease. Only possible reason I could find is his back injury, where he's
I
much
believe,
more.
yeah, I believe that's the case too because a couple of years ago when he played for Mumbai Indians, Hardik Pandya, he's very busy at the crease, right?
Yeah.
He'll try to come ahead, then he'll quickly switch back, and even if it's a googly which he didn't read, he's quick enough to just jump back in the crease and try to
Yeah,
hoik it over mid
yeah,
wicket,
yeah.
and that he's not as agile as he used to be, and I believe that's because of his back, or maybe he had a lot of ankle troubles also. So maybe that front left leg isn't quite cooperating as much as we'd like for him to cooperate. Also, I have a quick question for all of you all who wants to answer. The Gujarat and Rajasthan have two teams that I feel like, of course, we preview the game and we talk about what can be done, but they're still surprised and do something weird that nobody expected on both sides, usually. And I don't know, something weird seems to happen and something clicks and something doesn't. I mean, I feel the two teams who, can't really be previewed. I don't know.
I think any
Actually,
team which
review it.
Ashwin plays in, you cannot preview that team because he just has this wacky thinking. We always talk about Dhoni and his way of thinking. I think Ashwin is someone who's not given that credit. He's very out of the box. He's always out of the box. It's been his downfall as well because sometimes he just stays out of the box. He doesn't do things he
I mean,
doesn't
that's
take
the
care of
only
the
thing he's
simple
been
things.
doing. If you look in the IPL, in terms of wickets and bowling, he's not yet come to the
True.
mark. I
I
mean,
think
that's something.
Ashwin's over the years tried carom ball, leg spin, and stuff like that. It's very difficult. And now that he's become a senior statesman, he's more involved in the team's, decision making and stuff like
I
that.
think it's high time he gives preference to his bowling as well because
No, but
Usman has not
I
been
think
picking up
Ashwin
wickets
has been
much.
doing his job well because I they have picked Ashwin and Chahal to play because from one end he'll keep it tight and then Chahal will like Ashwin will create the pressure and then players will go after Chahal and usually they give away their wickets because Chahal I don't know Chahal has been very lucky. He has been bowling well, but he has
Actually,
been very lucky to pick 11 wickets in 4 games.
Now
I
people are
think
very, people are lining up against Ashwin also for the very reason that he's not going to turn the ball in. Whatever ball is going to come, it's going to come straight or it's going to keep it away from you. He's not bowling as an off spinner anymore. He's not bought a single off spin ball except for the ball he has bowled to Tilak Verma the entire season. So that's where I think he's being more predictable in terms of that. And you saw that onslaught which Dinesh Karthik had against him as well. So I think teams will look to target Ashwin as well going ahead in the tournament because and with the analysts, with the number of people there in the dressing room, it's very easy to target a bowler like that who's not taking the ball into you at all.
I
No, but
think
I feel
one
it'll be very
issue with
tough to
Ashwin as
maybe analyze Ashwin, alright? Because like you're saying, alright, I'm pretty sure this is there in Ravichandran Ashwin's mind also. That is either bowling it straight or getting it away. So second he sees somebody trying to get down and try to hit the ball over, I think he will do something different. But I don't know. I really respect his brain as a cricketer, but like I said, he's been trying to do too much. Okay,
well.
and I don't really think it's required. I'm just really waiting for the time he bowls a couple of balls with his left arm, which he says he's been trying. So
He
that's
actually, I
all.
think one of the interviews he said that he's ball left arm in a competitive match before.
Yeah,
He
it's in
can
Tamil
do a
Nadu.
good
Yeah,
job there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's
He
going
said,
to be
and,
interesting. You
and,
might see him become a buy. I think, what do you call that?
Ambidexter. Ambidexter.
Ambidextrous bowler. He is that kind of guy. I mean, I've been a big Ashwin fan for a long time. I loved his bowling. I started bowling off spin ever since I saw Ashwin play. I'm not
yeah,
an Ashwin, but I love Ashwin's bowling. But the
yeah.
fact
Jerin, I mean,
over the
firstly,
years,
choose your pronouns carefully. You do not want to land up where you don't want to be.
I mean, the fact that, I mean, I want to be, but it's not easy to be an Ashwin. I mean, let's
It's
just,
not. It's not. I
he's
mean,
just
the
kind
amount of
of
skill he
once in a
possesses
lifetime
as an off
opportunity. But
spinner.
I really feel when it comes to Ashwin, his issue has been he's been afraid of bowling a stock off spin. his off spin is something that is real, that has the kind of off spin that can be very good in white ball cricket as well. And over the years, he's been good. But I think ever since that Champions Trophy match, series where he was taken to the cleaners by, or that whole tournament, he's been a bit too much of an overthinker. I think if he goes back to
Yeah.
his stock off spin, I think in the Delhi first season when he played for Delhi, he had gone back to his stock off spin. He was bowling a little bit better than previously. So I think Ashwin should maybe go back to that and maybe look at these things as variations and not, as his stock ball. He shouldn't change his stock ball. Whenever Ashwin's put confidence in an off spin is
I
when
have
he's
a
been.
feeling today Ashwin might open the bowling against someone like Matthew Wade. But
Yeah,
quite
No,
surprised to see
Jimmy
Jimmy
Sham is
Neesham
bowling
open
the
the
first
bowling.
over.
I
Yeah,
feel he
quite
has to.
surprised to see that. Yeah, as I said, just said that they gave the ball to Jimmy Neesham. I just should
To
stop
sum
talking.
to sum everything up, I must say that we have to watch out for Vijay Shankar today. I think he'll perform.
Yeah,
We've
the
had
goat.
a bad luck. We've
My
had very much
impact player
bad
of the
luck
match
when it
is
comes
Vijay
to.
Shankar. I'm just putting it out
Yeah.
there.
Oh, you jinxed him now. I think till now we had given him the luck because whenever we criticize someone, he turns out the next
Really?
match to do well. Brevis example, Oden Smith example, could be Vijay Shankar's there.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
Odin Smith was just plainly lucky. Bravis played a very good knock, but Odin
The
Smith,
luck
I
is what we
won't
provide.
credit
That
him
is the
with
point.
those wickets.
But Vijay Shankar is a pure talent and he's a goat. So I'm just going to leave it
Yeah.
there.
Odin
See,
Smith
I
picked up 3 wickets when the
Hardik
opposition needed 16 or 5 with all their tailenders in.
Look, I want Hardik Pandya to hit the ball like a Brevis hit it yesterday. Every ball was over mid wicket.
Yeah.
Outside off stump, on leg stump, on off stump, and the short ball. Every ball he hit over mid wicket, Hardik Pandya used to
Talk
do.
about starts. Last time Rasan got a wicket on the first ball. This time, Jimmy Neesham just balls to the leg and Matthew Wade flicks it for 4. So having said that, I think we'll join tomorrow for sure
This is
when the
where
match
this
is
is where
already
Wade
over.
All
comes
right, I
into
think
form.
the
Watch
first
out.
ball has been balled, and we need to take a break now. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. Hoping this will be a great
Thanks,
match.
guys.
This is the topple. This is the table toppers match definitely, and let's hope that action justifies the tag. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
I
Thank
just
Thank
you.
want to say whoever
you.
becomes the table topper today, KKR will topple them tomorrow.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting, huh? Tomorrow KKR's match. I think we're all gonna gang up on Sandipani.
I won't be there tomorrow, but I'll definitely be there day after
Oh,
tomorrow
that
for the
is
first
it.
game.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely.
guys.
We'll be there to review it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you
Okay,
so
have
much
a
for
good one.
joining. All right.
Bye-bye.
Guys.
All that, all that.
Yeah.